Well, things just got interesting in Berea and for the Cleveland Browns as the long-awaited official debut of Shedeur Sanders will come this Sunday in Las Vegas, Nevada, as the Browns travel to take on the Raiders with Dylan Gabriel now in concussion protocol. And wisely, I think, making the decision on Wednesday, Kevin Stefanski saying that Shedeur would be the starter, wanting to make sure that the team had enough days to get ready and not trying to wait till the last possible minute to see if Dylan could basically clear concussion protocol. We'll talk about that, plus a little high school football. This is going to be a very short edition of Voice of Land. Of course, we are partnered with LPV Productions and brought to you by the great people at Greeny Sports Cards. Going to be working with them a lot more as we get closer and closer to Cleveland Crunch Soccer as well. They are one of the sponsors and partners with them, and we always appreciate them. I think as we get into the I know Ryan, you and your wife are expecting another child, so
show might that yet. So, but yep. Within the next 2 or 3 weeks, we're gonna have another baby. So excited about that.
So, I'm sorry about that. Sorry to breaking news.
Oh, that's fine.
But if people are seeing my camera going in and out because that's the feedback that I'm getting, I'm totally sorry. The camera is totally fine on my end. I don't know if it's just a connection issue, an internet issue.
I don't notice it, Kevin. I think you're good.
Okay, perfect. But the show may have to take a little bit of a hiatus for a little while. I can always do shows by myself. I feel comfortable doing that with what I do, but just with the end of the year and work and everybody going through some busy times, may just have to take a little hiatus. But once we are back and in full, we will definitely have some Crunch players on to preview the season because they're back downtown at the Wolfstein Center on the campus of Cleveland State. So thank you, Greeny Sports Cards. Reach out to them. Find out about all of their shows, greenysportscards.com. Ryan, let's just jump right into it. I mean, it's the story of the week. I mean, we could try to squeeze in Cavs or something else. Ohio State, Ohio State's got Rutgers. There's injuries that are question marks. Those questions will be answered more next week than they are this week. And Cavs, I mean, it's November. You're going to overly freak out about a game that they lost to the Rockets last night. I can't help you. But the only big story is really Shedeur Sanders getting the start. I know, boy, those 2 quarters did not look very good last week, but I think a lot of people and a lot of backup quarterbacks have broken this down throughout the week, Ryan, and the circumstance that he found himself in coming into that game. And I think people forgot, or maybe they just didn't want to hear it. I remember hearing the defensive coordinator for the Ravens saying they prepared for both Dylan and Shedeur. So that plan was already set in place to just attack.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty crazy, actually. I didn't hear that they planned for Shedeur as well. I mean, it clearly worked. It was clearly effective. He was blitzed a lot. Clearly the offense wasn't really schemed around Shedeur for last week. Yeah, I mean, on paper he looked awful. I mean, he had 2 or 3 glimpses of maybe some good plays here or there, but overall he just had a bad second half. But Wyatt Teller coming out and to the media post game saying that he's only had 2 or 3 max snaps with Shedeur all season. I mean, what do you expect? With the full week of practice, we should see a difference this week, I would say.
Should see a difference and like you said, a full week of prep and all of that. I mean, I know a lot of people have said it. I'm excited. This is the only thing that was ever going to get me excited to watch a game, especially when they started the way that we all expected them to. With you always there's always that back of your mind hope that things are going to go differently and it's going to be a great season and stuff like that. But you and I both knew. We both talked about it before this season even started, and as it started to go down the drain, I mean that became the only thing. I'm not here to state I'm try to claim that I think that he's going to be the ultimate answer and he's the savior we've been looking for at the quarterback position. I'm not here to say that. But if you're going to, and I've seen a lot of people do it, if you're going to criticize people because they're excited to see this guy, even after I know it was 4-16, again, on the surface looks terrible. And and he even said it was bad. He did not like the way he played. Let's see what a whole week looks like, and then looks the same. then you kind of have your answer there, and especially against the Raiders team that doesn't play great defense. They have Max Crosby over there, but this offensive line is an absolute swinging door. So Max Crosby is definitely going to go
Yeah,
through.
it's going to be an issue.
But you're playing against Geno Smith. You expect your defense to play well. This is a game where, no more excuses. Defense has to travel, has to go on the road. I'm sure you're going to have a lot more Browns fans than Raiders fans in that stadium in Las Vegas. I know there's a big trip of people from my station going and fans going. And there's plenty of other people talking about going out there. I'm excited to see this. I don't know. I mean, whether he gets intercepted or not, he's going to throw it more than 5 yards past the line of scrimmage.
Right.
He's going to at least attempt to.
Yeah, I don't know. This Raiders defense isn't too good. I mean, I like Devin White, I like Jeremy Chin, and Max Crosby. That's pretty much the three, I would say, corner pieces of that team. Devin White's going to be a decent linebacker. Max Crosby is the one you're going to have to worry about. Like you said, our offensive line is a revolving door. It's ranked last in the NFL. The Raiders have won the past 5 meetings against the Browns, and only 4 were one possession finishes, and then 2018 was overtime. So it's not like the Raiders have had our number, every game by a lot. It's been relatively close. I mean, the Browns haven't won since 2014, but this is a chance for the Browns to win a game. I'm very excited to see Shedeur. I think you hit the nail on the head when you said, do you think he's going to be the savior? You don't know, but logic tells us that we have to get this guy in the game. We have to see what we have. We have to. We beat the drum on the head or whatever you want to say. But at the beginning of the season, that we're going to have to see what these rookies do, both of them, this season to get a fair evaluation for next season because we have 2 first-round picks. I've said it 1,000 times. Nonetheless, this is the beginning of that. I'm excited. I do like his approach to this game, I would say. Yesterday he was talking to the media. He said, quote, I know our fans have a lot of expectations and hope, and I would be doing a disservice to myself and a disservice to the organization if I didn't feel like I am the guy. I did everything I need to. I'm doing everything I need to prepare, to be the best version of myself as possible. With the circumstances, everything has to be sped up, and that's great. I like the pressure in life. I'm not just excited for I cannot read today. I'm just excited for everything. So I feel like I'm the guy. I know I'm the guy, but you'll just have to wait and see. The game has got to speak. I mean, I love that mentality. I absolutely love it. For a guy who was been talked about for, is he going to go second overall? And he had the historic drop to the 5th round. Whether, you want to say why that happened, it doesn't matter. He was a 5th round pick, and now he's getting a shot. I think that, him getting drafted in the 5th round put a chip on his shoulder. I'm excited to see what he's got this week for sure. Wouldn't it be nice to, be able to use the other picks for next year on complementary pieces instead of a quarterback? I'm not sure if we have a lot of time this season left for the front office to properly evaluate to make that decision, but it would be so nice to, just add a little thorn in their foot or something just by playing very, very well these next few games. So.
And I love that you brought up that specific quote, because I think a lot of people had this, if you don't like Shedeur, like you had a negative response to that quote and you didn't really listen to it and what he was meaning and anything like that. You're just hearing, oh, I know I'm the guy. Like,
right.
How could you say that after what you did last week? And you came out of Colorado, like, you're not actually this good player. But I want a player to have that kind of confidence, number one. And if they don't, like, look, there's plenty of people and plenty of players that have come through the NFL draft, NBA draft, MLB, WNBA, all of these different leagues that have the confidence that they are able to play at that level or even like be one of the best at that level. And if you don't have that confidence, then you're really not going to even get to that chance to even have a chance to be drafted. And so does it always work out? No. But you have to have that confidence, and everybody that pulled that clip and pulled that quote, of course, you're going to get the thing that makes the headline. I believe
whatever context fits your narrative. So
right. Yeah. But what did he say? Reread what he said right at the
end. Yes, he said. So I feel like the guy. I know I'm the guy, but you'll just have to wait to be able to see. The game has got to speak.
The game has got to speak. Like, he's even admitting. I can have all the confidence in the world myself, but if I don't go out there and produce, I'm not going to be around very long. I'm not going to keep getting these opportunities. So I either got to show up, show out, or I'm going to be right back on that bench. Like, he understands that. And, everybody can, whether you want to claim that he's been given a disservice, Kevin Stefanski hates him, or, like Kevin Stefanski's done it right because this guy's not very good. They shouldn't even be here. This is a detriment to Kevin Stefanski. Andrew Berry did it. There is no like realism in this, and I get that. But that's what's going to make a lot of this exciting, because the conversation all day long, and this is a 4:05 Eastern time game. So for us, we're going to get this conversation all day long at halftimes of the 1 o'clock games, all the pregame shows, everywhere like that. And I apologize. I know you guys have a Inside the Edge pregame show. What time are you guys doing that this week?
We're probably going to go live at 11 still, just for just the sake of the show. Every week we go 11, but yeah.
Well, I apologize. I am filling in on our what we call opening drive at ESPN Cleveland. I'm filling in as the host this week.
Well, nice, bro. Congrats.
It's at 11 as well, because
that's cool.
The Browns radio network is 4 hours, and we have to hold that, so that we always go an hour before that starts. Sorry to have something going.
At the same time. All good. Go do your thing, brother.
So you and I will be both talking about this at the same time, just not together. Like we probably would be, even pretty good show in that regard too. But right. I mean, it's exciting, but just I've stayed away from Twitter this week. That's for sure. Not on there as much. And if I'm retweeting a lot of stuff, I don't know if you saw, Ryan, it's a lot of soccer stuff, because I can't get into these conversations, because look, the sideline reporter, and I know that I work with him. He's one of my teammates. So people, take that with a grain of salt if you don't believe anything that's said. But the sideline reporter for the radio network, Gerard Cherry, 3-time Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots, said that he specifically made it his job in that second half to watch the interactions between Kevin Stefanski and Shedeur Sanders. And all he saw was a coach putting an arm around him. Even if his head would go down, Kevin Stefanski would pick him up. He was supportive the entire time. Does Kevin Stefanski, was that his guy in Shedeur Sanders? Probably not. But this whole thing about him hating him, look, if that was the case, then that's the type of person that Kevin Stefanski is. He wouldn't even lasted this long. And I know, Brian, you wanted him gone before that, but
for years now, brother.
For years. But still, like, he would not have lasted this long if he had that type of mentality as a coach with players that he wasn't necessarily a fan of.
Yeah, I don't think he's necessarily sabotaging. I mean, for me, I was a little skeptical when it was announced that Dylan Gabriel was Joe Flacco's backup. He got the reps with the starters in case Flacco went down. Then Flacco was traded clearly, and then Shedeur was deemed the backup since week 5. And then, Wyatt Teller comes out and says, I've only had, 3 or 4, a handful of snaps with the guy and heard his cadence all year. So, that's a little concerning to me that you're instantly having Dylan Gabriel practice with the ones just in case. But Shedeur, since week 5, has not practiced at all with them. I'm not saying he's intentionally sabotaging him, but I do think that he has clearly mismanaged this entire season with these quarterbacks from preseason until now. So,
absolutely. And I know that the whole conversation about reps became a big thing this week too, and that has always been there. I don't think people don't want to hear reality. They don't want to hear the truth that backup quarterbacks don't get many reps, and especially if you're gonna during the season. The issue I had with him not getting any first team reps, especially when I'm hearing people close to the team, doing radio shows and doing their own opinions and stuff, but they're there at every practice, every training camp, they're around the team, they're in the facility, saying he earned first team reps in training camp and he didn't get any. Like, that is where the rep conversation, really just, I didn't like the way anything was handled. And to have 2 rookie quarterbacks here, I mean, this whole thing has just been mismanaged. It's not sabotage, it's mismanagement. It's lack of awareness of how this is going to go. And if the Browns didn't realize how big of a polarizing figure Shedeur Sanders was going to be, when you've already gone, Jimmy Haslam's been around for Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield, and I'm not saying he's like them in terms of character, but in terms of polarization, celebrity, all of that, that takes it to the nth degree. And if you didn't think that this was gonna go this way, boy, oh boy, you really did not do your research.
Yeah. One thing that concerns me as well, not concerns me, but maybe is something of note. Shedeur's house was broken into during the game last week, and $200,000 worth of his possessions are stolen, literally at the same time as he was getting on the field. That concerns me. Maybe with him psychologically a little bit. I mean, maybe a little bit. I mean, if someone was in my house and did that, I'd be pretty paranoid. I'd probably be up late at night listening, waiting, protect myself from my belongings. I'm nervous that this may affect him in the upcoming game this week. I mean, there's no way that he's just going to forget that last time he was on the field, his house was robbed and all of his stuff was taken. I'm sure that he's probably hired security, but nonetheless, I hope that doesn't mess with him, mentally during the game, especially since the Medina County Sheriff's Office said that there are no suspects at this time. So the people that did it are still out there. That is just another tiny little factor that hopefully doesn't affect him. I do like his quote, like I said, but in the back of my head, I'm wondering how he's handling being at home at night.
Yeah, that is very true. And I mean, maybe it was a lesson, like hard learned lesson about, if you're going to get a home, you got to have security around the home. Like
right.
These days, people get crazier and crazier. And people's ability to get to things much quicker. I mean, look, if you can break into the Louvre,
yeah,
and
take ice her back, man.
Yeah, you can take stuff from there. I mean, it's going to happen. I do wonder what his mindset is, but I feel like at least he displays the right head on his shoulders. Sure. How does it come out on Sunday? I don't know. I mean. Yeah.
Hope well.
I know. Tomorrow at work they're going to ask me for a game prediction. You know, I'm going to say who wins on Sunday. The people in our office that get to go to Vegas on this trip.
There you go.
Because I don't know. The Browns should win this, but they were supposed to beat the Jets and they didn't.
Yeah.
There's the defense. Defense is great, and Myles Garrett is on an absolute tear right now. And he's on pace to break and smash the sack record in a single season. This year, I think he has 15 already. He has 22 tackles for a loss, which equals his total from last year in 17 games. He's still got 7 more games to go.
7 games and 8 sacks to break the record. That's a pretty good odds. So,
and I mean, and for a guy like Myles, that I know that he has become more of a team guy as years have gone on. How big of a leader is he? Those are conversations at a different time, but he is a guy that's motivated by some individual things. So if in order for this defense to not quit on this year, it's going to be Myles Garrett leading them because he has this back of his mind motivation. I want to be that guy. I want to break that record. I want to win Defensive Player of the Year again. I got to get something out of a year that is completely gone awry, just like last year. And said he was given a plan, and I don't know what that plan was because.
I think the plan is to break the record, and it helps probably a little bit more motivation. The 2 people that own the record right now are Michael Strahan and his rival TJ Watt. They're tied for the record, so that might be a little more extra motivation to break that record this year. So,
yeah, so it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. There's theater involved, and sports is supposed to be. I know that people don't like pro wrestling, but WWE, their mantra is World Wrestling Entertainment. Sports. Yeah. Entertainment. There is choreographed athleticism that entertains you like a TV show, some sort of dramatic TV show that you got to catch every single week, those types of things. It's not just pro wrestling, though. The entire world of sports is entertainment. And I haven't been entertained at all this year. I haven't been able to even dig in to be entertained.
Yeah.
I know one way or another I'm going to be entertained this weekend. I'm not going in with any expectations of this team winning, him doing amazing things like that. I'm just going in as a fan of football, of a fan of entertainment and theater, and just going to soak it all in.
You know what is entertaining, Kevin? High school football.
Yeah.
High school football, baby. Miles McLaughlin. You want to talk about him real quick?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, Miles McLaughlin. We're switching over to high school football real quick. For those of you who may have missed our last couple shows, we are a fan of a kid. He's a high school player from Knox, Indiana. His name is Miles McLaughlin. He's a running back. He's putting together one of the most dominant careers in high school football history. It's actually official that he this last week set the national records for touchdowns and yards in a single season. He has a whopping 71 touchdowns this year and 4,768 yards this season as a senior. And he still has another game, so he's just going to pile on those stats as well. You're probably thinking like, wow, that's one great season is having. That's definitely an anomaly. I cannot speak. Definitely not. He has 11,761 total yards in his high school career. 11,761 yards in 4 years. Craziest thing is, like I said, he's still playing. In fact, he actually recorded his game-clinching interception last week for his team as well to progress into the playoffs. So he holds the record for most touchdowns in a season, most yards in a season. But he's also only 366 yards away from passing Derrick Henry's record of 12,124 yards in a career in high school. 366 yards away, and he's averaging 368.8 yards per game this season. Last week, he had 372 yards. He's guaranteed at least one more game this week, and if Knox wins, then McLaughlin would also be able to play in the Indiana State Championships there, where he'll for sure end up owning the record. But just to be safe, better go ahead and get those 366 yards this week to break the record. Guys, high school football history is about to unfold this season. You need to lock in. 2 weeks ago, I mentioned that despite his incredible stats, he had 0 offers to play in college, and also he's a 0-star recruit on 24/7 Sports. Well, last week he received his first Division I offers from Franklin College, St. Mary of the Woods, and Wabash College. Really grateful for those offers, but we're going to wait for better ones, But after this past game, after last week, he got offers from Ball State and Murray State as well, so much better programs. And 24/7 Sports made him a 3-star recruit finally. So now he's on the board. This dude is doing something special, and it's really cool that we've, seen this diamond in the rough go from criminally unrecognized to getting the recognition he deserves. One other fun fact I want to mention, this past game against the Browns, Derrick Henry finally caught up to his high school record of rushing yards in the NFL. It took him 9 seasons in the NFL. Derrick Henry now has 12,127 rushing yards in the NFL, 3 more yards than he did in high school.
Jeez. Yeah. 4 years versus 9 years. And,
yeah.
I mean, it also tells you the level of talent as you go.
For sure.
Each one. I mean, he's got a chance to do that. We're big. We got to send him a clip of this or something to somehow
Dude,
get it.
I'm hyping this dude up.
Yeah. We are hyping up Miles McLaughlin, but we also hype up Ohio high school football as well. And regional finals are this weekend. There's still 3 more weeks of Ohio high school football playoffs. A lot of teams trying to earn that Thanksgiving practice, that Thanksgiving Day practice that I know, Kirtland always talks about, St. Ed's always talks about when they get to that level. You got some good ones this week. You got St. Ed's and Mentor in Division I, 2 Division II Northeast Ohio games, Hoban and Walsh, Medina, Highland, and Avon. And Highland is flying this year, but Avon is the defending state champion. You got Cuyahoga Valley Christian Academy, CVCA versus VASJ. That's going to be a barn burner. You got Perry and Lake County versus Glenville in Division IV. I think one of the Mr. Football in Ohio candidates down in Tuscarawas County at Indian Valley, they've got a regional final game. Grady Kinsey is his name. That's a name to definitely watch from a running back standpoint. Kind of, I wouldn't say he's our Miles McLaughlin. He's just, he's just really good. And I don't know a lot of people that catch on to it because Tuscarawas County is not really covered as much, or at least widespread. But they won the state title last year in Division IV. They're looking to go back to back this year. Kirtland's back in there in Division VI, and the Division VII power of Maria Stein, Marion Local. They are in the regional final as well. So there's so much action. I know that some places will have YouTube live streams. All you got to do is go to Fox 8's Friday Night Touchdown Twitter page, X page, and they always retweet every school's update and all of that kind of stuff on these games. Just keep track tomorrow night. It's fun. Yeah. It's fun. As you're sitting there, maybe watching a movie with the family or talking with people or getting set for your Thanksgiving plans next week. Just take a peek. If you got social media, take a peek because there's going to be some fun games going on for sure. Ryan, I want to wish you and your family a happy Thanksgiving because we're going to be off next week. And then, everything else that's coming down the pike for you guys, we'll figure out. There'll be updates, and I'll make sure to get onto the social media pages. Still get access to those myself, and I will update everyone on what we're doing over the next few weeks. But I want to wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving. Everyone out there, I always love getting on to Sunday NFL Countdown the weekend before Thanksgiving. Chris Berman would always be like, "Let us be among the first to wish you and your family a happy and then he'd always do the weekend after. Let us be among the last to wish your family. So let us be among the first to wish you and yours a happy Thanksgiving and a great holiday season. If we don't get a chance to talk too much before that time, Ryan, love doing the show with you. You guys take care of family back there, and we'll connect very, very soon.
Yeah.
All right. Yep, I'm going to do the send-off right this I did not last week. I was way off the mark last week. But for Ryan Mosser, thank you to our great friends at Greeny Sports Cards. Reach out to them, greenysportscards.com. Thank you to Peter Tellup and LPV Productions. For us here at the Voice of the Land, don't let anyone ever tell you it's just a game. We truly love you all, 3,000. Don't talk about it, be about it.
Miles McLaughlin's going to break the record this week, baby. Let's do it.
That's right. And live life, all gas, no brakes. We'll see you next time, sometime, right here on the Voice of the Land.